the war in northern Uganda has had a very, very, very big impact, especially on the children and the mothers of northern Uganda. The war specifically targeted mothers and children. We, in Pade, have identified the following as major impacts of the war. One is we have a number of highly young children being mothers, that we term them child mothers. We have the cases of HIV/AIDS being high. The HIV/AIDS prevalence in the IDP camp is at more than 10%. We have cases, incidences of rape. We have incidences of domestic violence arising from the impact of the war. We have early marriages. Our young children are being married. Others are being forced into marriages. Prostitution is very high in the IDP camp. And the conflict has also had another dimension in terms of land disputes arising, which is affecting our children and the women. And we are so happy, especially with the intervention of the Italian cooperation in the aspects of child protection. We are happy that they trained, we have so far established 98 child protection groups in all the 98 parishes of Pade. But this is a drop in the ocean, and we really would request that this intervention, this close collaboration between the Italian Corporation, Pade District Local Government, Central Government, and the police should continue, because we have about 400 to 500,000 people, and 98 child protection people cannot help us in this war. The second appeal is the concern that we have seen the intervention in the St. Bakita, where they are training the young mothers, the formerly abducted children, the people who have not had time for education. We are so grateful for this, and we think that we still insist, we appeal to our donors to help improve, give us more resources, give more resources to the corporation, give more resources to St. Bakita for these two incidences, for child protection and then for St. Bakita program of educating, giving our people the skills.
È nato un altro progetto di partenariato fra la polizia e le comunità, ed in particolare fra la polizia e le donne della comunità, che sono le guardiane. Come sempre, ovunque, dei minori. Abbiamo pertanto organizzato, facilitato e sostenuto una serie di seminari di riqualificazione sia del personale amministrativo locale sia della polizia sul tema vasto della protezione dei minori e delle donne dagli abusi. Abbiamo inoltre costruito 3 centri comunitari che ospitano anche gli uffici di polizia e il tribunale. Questo progetto è iniziato nel 2008 e andrà avanti per tutto l'anno 2009. Si tratta di 89 donne chiamate Child Protectors, attive su tutto il territorio e che lavorano in collaborazione con i posti di polizia, anche essi sparsi in tutti i villaggi. Per dare forza ai diversi progetti che abbiamo accennato, tutti tendenti allo stesso obiettivo, la salvaguardia dei diritti dei minori, abbiamo installato una radio a modulazione di frequenza gestita da un'organizzazione comunitaria con particolare interesse per i problemi dei minori e con lo scopo di sensibilizzare le comunità e le strutture amministrative periferiche, compresi gli organi di polizia. L'altro punto che interessa sviluppare è il dialogo fra il governo locale e le comunità.
I was born in 1988 in Patongo. I'm an orphan. I lost both of my parents in 2000. They died due to the war, which was disturbing the northern people. They were abducted and killed by the rebels. My life was difficult because I had no one to help me, especially when I reached P7. Things became complicated. I looked around, searching for help, but in vain, I didn't get. My performance declined because most of my time I could take in the bush because I wanted to escape from the attack. But I struggled and I passed well my PLE. Things again became tough when I had wanted to join senior. I had no one to help me, no one to pay for my fees. Fortunately, my auntie came and picked me. She started paying me right from senior 1 to senior 4. When I completed my senior 4, she told me that she was unable to continue paying me. Yet, I'd wanted to go for further studies. She told me to go back to my grandmother who was taking care of me. Luckily enough, I have a grandmother who is good. She used not to mistreat me. After reaching her, I asked myself a lot of questions. Should I involve myself in risky behaviors so that I get money for my school fees? Or I commit suicide? I sat down and made up my mind that when I'm to go to a man, instead I'll be inviting problems on me. If I'm to commit suicide, still, it will not be good because the life of that old woman is in my hands, and my life is also in her hands. I controlled my anger. I've completed a year now in St. Bakita, and the day I entered here, I saw the environment so conducive for learning, and not only for learning, but the source of protection. If you compare to girls who are in day schools, they bit have a lot of problems. They are still being disturbed on the way by the boys. Some big men are also trying to convince them to interfere with their studies, but here we are well protected. Security is also here, and in case of any problem, we are helped. But what can really, at times, make me not happy is that those girls who are still at home, they are still being abused much as the war has ended. The guardians who are taking care of them are forcing them to go for early marriages as the way of getting money, since the war made them not to cultivate. And there are some big men who are also defiling the young girls, forcing them into sex, which really can at times confuse my mind. So, much as this war has ended and they are still being abused, the government should really open up their eyes, understand, and rescue these girls. And I wish there were hundreds Bakitas. At least they would have been rescued. Since there are no 100 Bakitas, the government should come in. Because the war has ended, we don't want child abuses to continue. They should come up and make sure that these abuses have stopped.
Oggi 25 marzo 2009 potete sentire, oggi a Kalongo sono arrivati dall'ufficio del primo ministro per avvertire la gente che questa volta è l'ultima volta che portano cibo e che devono lasciare i campi per tornare a casa loro.
L'Uganda è un paese molto interessante in quanto è l'unico paese stabile in una regione di destabilizzazione come quella dei grandi laghi africani. L'Italia da molti anni partecipa alla ricostruzione del nord devastato da una lunga guerra interna e partecipa nell'ambito dell'Unione Europea al tentativo di stabilizzare la zona. La cooperazione dell'Italia, come avete potuto vedere dalle immagini che sono precedute, è incisiva ed è una delle pochissime cooperazioni che ha raggiunto il risultato di dare agli aiutati la possibilità di fare il resto da soli.
Thank you.